Hello and welcome to a new video. This is a slightly different video, but it's one I've been promising for a while. As you would have seen from the title and the thumbnail, this is kind of a YALC for beginners. So I refer to myself this way, and quite a few people that I know who have been like going to YALC for quite a few years now as YALC veterans. This will be my 5th year there and I am so excited. So with this being a thing that I've done like multiple times, I can very happily give some advice on like how it works and everything. Obviously, they might change things from the last time I was there. Obviously, the last time was pre-COVID, so there may be some changes, but I honestly don't think there's going to be a lot compared to previous years. So this is obviously just going based on my previous experiences. There are a lot of things that will be relevant no matter what, things like planning and stuff like that. But if you're someone who is going to YALC for the first time and you're really worried and you have any questions, I am here to help. So I have written a few of my own notes down, but also I asked on Twitter and on a couple of Discords if anyone had any questions, so I also have those to answer. However, if I do not answer your question in this, have a look at the comments. If no one else has asked the question, feel free to ask a question, and if I can answer it, I will. But yeah, the comments is going to be a free-for-all. If you have a question about YALC, like, feel free, and like I said, if I can, I will answer it. So I'm just going to get like stuck right in there. So my first main one is on planning the actual weekend. Obviously, if you're only going for like 1 or 2 days, or no matter how many days you're going, whether it's 1, 2 or 3 days, planning is my main thing. I will brag forever about my planning skills where Comic-Cons and YALC and everything is concerned, because I feel like I am a bit of a pro at it. I'm good at it and I like my planning. I am also going to say, please ignore this. I have to have my fan on because it is ridiculously warm today. It's full on almost summer here, which I don't understand because we are only in May. So please just ignore this because that's going to be a thing this whole video and it's going to be really distracting. I apologise. So first up, most important, write a to-do list. So if you're someone who is only going YALC, you have no interest in the actual Comic-Con below, you're only really going to be looking at authors, panels and workshops in YALC. So YALC gave us this little schedule. This is actually the old one. They have also announced 2 more authors and shifted around some of the panels and workshops. So you can find their schedule. I'm going to put the link in the description box to the updated schedule. Go check that out. If you've got a printer, print it off. And I always highlight the authors I want to meet. I am actually going to reprint this because I have changed my mind on a few authors. So I'm very much a print and highlight girl. So this is the main thing I do. I am one of these people that love the actual Comic-Con side of things as well. It's a bit trickier to plan with the LFCC side because they do tend to leave uploading the schedule until like sometimes a week before the event, which is very stressful to a planner, but it's fine. So with that, I always make a note of the people there that I would like to meet and whether I would like to get a photo with them or a autograph. Photos, you do have to book them in advance. You can buy them on the day, but I find it's better to buy them online beforehand because then you're kind of guaranteed, because some depending on how big the celebrity is, they will sell out. I've seen people sell out before. I think it was the year that I met David Tennant. David Tennant sold out very quickly. But yeah, photo shoots you have to book in advance. For autographs, now this is LFCC only. I just wanted to add this bit in because I know some people will be interested in going down to the LFCC part. For autographs, you pay on the day. However, you're not guaranteed with a photo shoot. If you book a photo shoot, as long as you get to the photo shoot in the slot, you're guaranteed that photo. Autographs are different. with autographs, when you get into the venue in the morning, find the table where that person is autographing. They have massive posters behind the table where they will be sat, so you will be it'll be pretty easy to find. And if you can ask any one of the showmasters crew, because they are really helpful. But yeah, when you get into LFCC in the morning, find the table and they will give you a virtual ticket with a number on. Basically, just go back throughout the day, depending on how big your number is. Go back throughout the day, and if it says, so like if you've got number 49 and you go there and the board says numbers 1 to 50, you can go to the table and get an autograph. You have to pay, obviously, you pay then and there. If you go there, your number's 72 and it says 1 to 50, leave it about half an hour and then go back. If your number's 72 and you get there and the numbers are 100 to 150, that is absolutely fine. You can get in at that point because your number has passed. You don't have to get there dead on when your number's called, so it's absolutely fine. And a lot of people don't necessarily using them because they change their mind, so it's fine. Anyway, back onto YALC. The best thing that they did in 2019 was introduce a virtual queue system. This basically works. So beforehand, before 2019, you would literally just, at the time your author was there, you would find their table, get in the queue. The queues were ridiculous. They would like snake around the stalls and it was just stress. And you could be standing there for like half an hour waiting, which for someone who struggles to stand for long periods of time is not helpful. Then in 2018, I think it was, Tomi Adeyemi was there, and because she's such a huge author, or she was like a very popular author back then, they introduced a virtual queue system. So basically they handed out tickets, and like with the autographs in LFCC, you would just wait until your batch of number was called and then you could get in the queue, and you were queuing for like 10-15 minutes tops. And it worked so well that in 2019, they decided to do that across the board, which the fact they didn't think of it sooner baffles me, because it is just such a better system. So I believe, from what I've heard, they are doing that again this year. What they do, when you get in the morning, each morning, so for example, I'm going to do examples here. You get in on the Friday morning, you want to meet, I'm going to go by me, Melinda Salisbury, Holly Bourne, Neil Schusterman, Sarah Bernard and Lauren James. They're the people I want to meet on the Friday. When you get in there on Friday morning, there will be a massive desk and you go straight into that queue, and you get there and you literally just say, can I have tickets for, and you tell them the authors, and they will give you a ticket for each of the authors you have asked for. And then basically you keep hold of those tickets, and at the time slot, so Melinda Salisbury is not on till like 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. So at 5 p.m, if I've got number 30, I'll go up there, see what batch of numbers they're calling up first. So that is basically how it works. On Saturday morning, you have to do the whole thing again, but for your Saturday authors, and again on Sunday. It's a really good system. It is a bit stressful getting in the morning so that you can get to that table and get your tickets, especially if it is a popular author. But it is a like huge improvement on getting in a massive queue with the author right there and not knowing if you will actually get to the end of the queue. At least with the raffle tickets, they will say at a point when they're stopping calling numbers, depending on how long it's been taking. So you will not get into that queue without knowing you're getting your book signed, because they won't let you into the queue if they don't think there's going to be time for you to sign. So it takes that like stress out of it, which is so much better. So there's that side of things. There's the sign-ins. On planning, I'm going to go back to planning because I forgot something. Oh, I'm really sorry. I've got notes as well when I'm looking at them. Back onto planning. Once you've decided which authors you want to meet, you then need to decide what books you need to get signed by that author. Now, some authors do put a limit on. I'm going to use Victoria Schwab at 2019 as an example. Now, Victoria Schwab had a limit. You could only get 2 books signed per person. So, it was literally... It does sort of help a little bit in knowing that in advance, because it means that, like, obviously Victoria Schwab has a lot of books. You don't want to take a massive pile of books just to be told when you get there they're only signing 2. So having that knowledge that only 2 is really helpful. I personally would not turn up to an author signing at an event like that with a pile of books by that author. However, some of the smaller authors like Holly Bourne, Sarah Bernard and Melinda Salisbury don't usually, now I'm saying usually because I don't know how it's working this year, they don't usually put a limit, because usually there's not a big enough queue to stop everyone getting their book signed. So my best advice is to just have a look on the Twitter, because I know, for example, with Neil Schusterman, a couple of people have asked if there's going to be a limit on how many he'll sign. So yeah, once you know what books you want to get signed and you've had a look, see if you can figure out if there's limits, then there's also the side of it, if you want to prioritize reading any author's books. So I am going to be filming my June TBR shortly, which you'll see the week after this goes up. And honestly, there are so many books on it that are for authors that are going to be at YALC. Okay, so next up, there is stalls. These stalls are amazing. I spend so much money at YALC. You don't have to, I just have no self-control. So a lot of the stalls are from publishers, and they will have obviously books from their publishing house on sale. You can get some really good deals. Like a few years back, there was one of the stalls that had a 3 paperbacks for £10 deal, which is amazing. On a Sunday, as it's starting to get like an hour or 2 before they're due to close, a lot of the publishers put better sales on. So one year, I can't remember what one, I think it might have been Bookmark, they did a 3 paperbacks for a £5, and you know I bought books because 3 paperbacks for a £5, you got 3 books for the price of less than 1 book. It was an amazing deal. So yeah, it's definitely worth a try, and if you're still there late on the Sunday, it's definitely worth having a little browse around to see if any, because like they don't want to take loads of stock back, they want to like sell as much stock as possible, so they will put these really good deals on late on the Sunday because that's the last day. So definitely do that. But also there are other stalls there that sell merchandise. So I believe in the past Illumicrate and Fairy Loot have had stands there. Illumicrate have sold like leftover past items. I don't know if they will do that, because obviously Illumicrate are a lot bigger than the last time YALC happened. YALC happened in 2019, and over the last 2 years, like Illumicrate's got a lot bigger. So I don't know if they will do it, but in the past they would do like, they would sell like past items, not anything big, but that is how I got the very first book pot, because I didn't get Illumicrate's box back then, so that was really cool. But then there are also like small businesses, like I'm pretty sure Geeky Clean is usually there, which obviously is like bath bombs and soaps and stuff. There's been book sleeve companies there before. There is candle companies. Honestly, it is so much fun just browsing and spending too much money. In previous years there has been artists there, so in 2019 when I went there, there was an artist there called Diana Dorak. I apologize if I've pronounced that wrong, but they were selling their art. So I got this Throne of Glass character art print, and I also got 2 Six of Crows artwork. So I went there and I got some art, which was awesome. I didn't know they did that. But yeah, you have artists there and everything, and it's just amazing. As well as in the YALC section, again, if you want to venture down into LFCC, it's going to be a lot busier. So if you're not good with like huge crowds, be a bit cautious with that, because it does get a bit hectic down there, especially on the Saturday, which is the busiest day. But if you do want to check out a bigger market, then if you head on down to LFCC, they have so many market stalls. This is, if you're into Funko Pops, which I definitely am, this is where I have managed to pick up so many Funkos, especially not necessarily rare ones. Actually, no, rare ones. I have got so many rare ones. Some of them do get a bit pricey depending on how rare they are, or if the seller has realized how rare they are. So Obviously it's up to you if you're willing to spend the prices they're selling for, but a lot of the just standard Funkos are just standard price of like £5–10, so it's definitely worth checking out if you're into that. But also downstairs there is just so much. There are stalls with clothes on, teddies, there's a sword stand there usually. There is literally everything you can think of is down there, and there's like American food stands, and it's amazing. So I highly recommend the market down there. It's so much fun wandering around, and the cosplayers are just amazing to walk around and look at. I'm going to get to cosplayers in a minute. On the subject of the stands and stalls and everything though, a lot of them now do take card. I went to a Comic-Con, not YALC obviously, but I went to a Comic-Con in like February, March time, and it was, I'm pretty sure every single stand I went to took card. So I would say take a little bit of cash. If you're taking spending money, take a little bit of cash just in case, because the cash machines, I think they do charge to withdraw money, and also they're usually packed. The queue for them is usually huge, but most stands do take card, so that is also an option. Okay, so another thing is cosplay, which I mentioned earlier. Now you don't have to cosplay. I'm gonna say that right now. It is not mandatory. However, if you would like to cosplay, I want to see them. I want to see them all. I love cosplaying. I don't know if I'm going to be able to cosplay this year. I was planning on it, but things have changed and I'm not sure what I'm doing now for cosplays. So we will see how it goes. But cosplaying is so much fun. It can be a bit stressful depending on how intricate your cosplay is. Some people go all out. Some people just do it a little bit. And honestly, it is so much fun. Even if you don't cosplay, it's so much fun looking at everyone who is. So there are some rules with cosplays, so definitely check out the FAQs, because there are rules mostly around like the fake weapons, which kind of obvious, but you know. So check out the FAQ because they'll give you the full like details on like cosplay. But honestly, looking at the cosplayers is amazing. If you go down to the LFCC section, you are going to see so many more cosplayers, because it's definitely more of a Comic-Con thing than a YALC thing, although some YALCies do get involved in it, like me. But honestly, it's so much fun, whether you are doing it yourself or just looking at everyone else's. So yeah, if you are planning on cosplaying, let me know in the comments below who you're cosplaying as and which day, because I would love to see it. So giveaways, something that doesn't involve money. So a lot of the publishers do host a lot of giveaways over the weekend. I have won so many ARCs over the years through taking part in these giveaways. They're all different as well. Some of them, they're like, take a picture of this and tweet using this hashtag and we'll pick random people to win. Some are take a raffle ticket. So my most memorable win was the Osborne stand in 2019. I can't remember if it was when you spent a certain amount or if you like just purchased something from the stand, you got a raffle ticket. And then once a day they called raffle ticket numbers and handed out ARCs of Holly Bourne's The Places I've Cried in Public, and I won one of them. And honestly, best moment ever, hearing that number be called, looking at my raffle tickets and be like, that's me. I was so happy. But then there's also the opportunity to just get them as freebies. So Harper Voyager, I think, are a stand that in the past have, if you spend over £10, you can pick a free ARC. Now there's not a huge selection. It is usually like, it's not necessarily like new ARCs. It might be like leftovers of old releases that they're just trying to get rid of out of their offices, which is fair. But yeah, it's fun. It's free. If you're buying stuff from there already, then you're getting something free from it as well. So it's really good to look out, and I highly recommend, if you're on Twitter, turn notifications on for all of the publishers that are going to be there. I believe a list is posted somewhere of the publishers that are going to be there, but I'm not sure. So that one you might have to double check. But also, if you check out the individual publishers' Twitters, they will most likely say if they're going to be at YALC. So then if they do, you can just turn the notifications on. And if they announce they're doing a giveaway, you can run over to the stand or whatever they want you to do. So yeah, the giveaways is awesome. I love it so much. So next up is food. I very much encourage you taking your own. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 CAFs altogether, I think. However, they are ridiculously expensive. So if you don't mind spending the cash to walk less time, go for it. However, I highly recommend taking your own. I am one of these people you see running around because I've got photo shoots galore. And like author signings galore, so I like don't leave any time to eat, which is really bad. Don't recommend that. But I tend to just take snacky bits because I personally am just too wired, too excited, too on it to actually sit down and eat. But most people are normal and actually eat a proper meal, so I highly recommend taking something, even if it is just snacky bits to pick at throughout the day. Take food with you if you want to save money. Opposite the YALC entrance, there is a Tesco Express. You are allowed to leave the building. What they do, they stamp your hand before you leave, so that when you come back in, there's no scanning tickets. You just show that you've got the stamp and they let you back in. So you can leave the building at like whatever time you want to go across the road to Tesco and grab something to eat. However, be prepared for it to be pretty empty. I did it once where I left there about 1 o'clock to go get food from Tesco, and there was literally nothing in the fridge section where all the sandwiches and pasta pots and that are. It was empty. So, I mean, I wouldn't say don't make that your plan, but just be prepared for there possibly to not be options if you're going to do that. Obviously Tesco would be a cheaper option than the CAFs inside, but honestly my biggest recommendation is to just take your own. You are allowed to take food and drink in there with you. They don't stop you. Obviously for drink, don't take alcohol. They're not going to let you in with that. But I always take a bottle of water and I'm always let in with it. So there's no issue with food and drink. On that note, drink. Water. I, one year, actually run out of water. The person who never eats or drinks, I run out of water. I drank enough that I run out. You can go to the CAFs and ask them to refill your water bottle with tap water, obviously. They might say no. There is that possibility that they will say no. A few years back, I went to the CAF upstairs in YALC and asked them to refill my bottle, and I just got the dirtiest look, which is not on. It's tap water, it's free, it's July, it's hot. Don't stop me having water just because you want to charge me £2.50 for a bottle of water. That's just me. So it is entirely up to you if you want to take multiple bottles of water so you've got enough to last you the day, or if you just want to take one bottle and just hope that they won't give you dirty looks and they will fill it up with tap water. But yeah, make sure you drink plenty of water because it is going to be hot in there. The thing about the venue where YALC is, the roof, it's the top floor, so it's the roof, and it is a glass ceiling. So it is like a bit of a greenhouse in there when it's like the middle of July or even the beginning of July. So be prepared for it to be really warm in there, and you're going to need a lot of water. There are toilets dotted around everywhere, don't worry, there are plenty of toilets, so that won't be an issue. But yeah, that is like one thing. Another thing, make sure you wear comfy clothes. Like, I know it seems like such an obvious thing, but you want comfort. Comfort over fashion is something I have discovered over the years. A few years back I did a cosplay which involved boots. Boots that went up to my knee and had a heel like that I can't actually walk in. But I did it for the cosplay. Did I wear them all day? No, I did not. I wore flat shoes that were comfy to walk in, and I just changed into the boots for some pictures, and that was it. Honestly, comfort is your friend. You're going to be doing a lot of walking and standing, depending on how many authors you want to meet and how much you want to do while you're there. So it is honestly my biggest advice, is to just wear something comfortable. It will get hot, even if it's not warm outside, it's gonna get hot in that venue. There are a lot of people there. They do have air conditioning, but with that many people at that time of year, it doesn't do much. So honestly, cool clothes. Don't wear jeans. Jeans is probably the worst thing to wear because you will overheat, as I've found out in past years. But obviously, at the end of the day, wear what you're comfortable in at the end of the day. Like, it's entirely up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to wear. I'm just giving advice. Okay, so next up, what ticket do you have? Now, this is one that's come up a few times now, because there are 2 tickets you could buy to this event. You could either buy an LFCC ticket or a YALC ticket. Obviously, if you're going for YALC, you want to have bought the YALC ticket because you'll go in the YALC entrance, which is a much smaller queue than the LFCC entrance. However, if you have bought an LFCC ticket, do not worry, you are still going to get into the venue. It is absolutely fine. It's the same venue, you just have to go up a lift when you get in there. There is one thing they always say: if you have an LFCC ticket, you cannot go up to YALC until an hour after the event starts. And if you've got a YALC ticket, you cannot go down to LFCC until an hour after the event starts. This is what they say. However, this is not the case. In past years, I have had an LFCC ticket. I've literally gone through with my ticket, got into the venue and gone straight up. You just go up in the lift or the stairs. Once you're in there, they don't stop you. The only thing that is gonna impact it is the virtual queue tickets. They do prioritise YALC ticket holders for the first hour of opening time. So if you've got an LFCC ticket and you want to get virtual tickets to meet the authors, you do need to wait until an hour after it started. And the same goes for the other side. If you've got a YALC ticket and you want an autograph down in the LFCC section, you have to wait until an hour after it's open to get that ticket. So that is the only barrier, really. They do not man the stairs and the lifts to stop people going up and down. It's basically a free-for-all when you get in there. And another thing, before I move on to the questions that people have been asking moi, the extra help. If you are someone that struggles to get around or to stand up and you need some extra help, this is available. I will put the registration link down below, which will give you more details, but you have to provide basically the proof that you need extra help. And extra help basically means that, for example, with a author sign-in, it's not so bad where there's now virtual queue tickets, but basically with the author signings, if you have an extra help band, when your number on your raffle ticket gets called, you go up to the showmaster's crew member that is manning that station, and you just tell them that your number's been called, you want to queue for this, but you've got an extra help band, and they will basically put you near the front of the queue. So the most that you will be queuing for each person is about 10 minutes, which is much better than like 20 minutes, half hour. So yeah, that is a massive help to those who need it. Obviously, you do have to provide proof that you do need it, because otherwise everyone would be using them. You can find the details for what you need to do in that link. I'm going to put that down below. But yeah, and if you are someone who needs an extra help band and you need a carer, you can do that too. Again, that's all in the link below that you can find out the information. So feel free to check that out. I'm not going to start going into that because that is all I know about that. So I don't want to give you false information. Check out the website. Okay, so now we move on to questions that people have been asking me. So first up, the question I got was how the virtual queue tickets work. I've already actually explained this because it was actually part of my notes. So I'm going to skip over that because I've already explained it. The next question was based on like the queues, workshops and panels and how they work. Queues, I've already explained that one, so I'm not going to go into that one. Workshops and panels, I've never actually taken part in any of the workshops or panels at YALC before. So this is just going to be based on what I've seen from other people like talking about them. So as far as I know, the workshops and panels are on a first come first served basis. Workshops are limited to a like particular number, because obviously there is only a certain number of seats in the workshop. So my best bet for you is to, if you really want to do a workshop, get there earlier. It might mean you have to queue a little bit, but honestly, just get there earlier, so you're guaranteed to get in the earlier you are, because it is a first come first serve basis, and once all the seats are filled, that's it. For the panels, there is a number of seats. I don't know what the number is, but there is a number of seats in there. So again, it is sort of a first come first served, and it's sort of like, I don't actually know with this if it's a case of once the seats are filled, that's it, because someone did say in past years they have been able to just stand at the back. So I do think there's still a limit on how many people they can have in the panel, but I don't know if it's seating only or if they will let some people stand at the back. I'm not sure on that, so my best bet is to just ask someone on the day when you get there. So I'm really sorry I can't be more help with workshops and panels, but I just, from experience, I have none, so I'm just going by what other people have told me. The next one, I absolutely love the wording of this. I wrote it down exactly how it was asked of me. An idiot's guide to get in there and where the entrance is. So for this, the closest station is literally right outside the venue. So it is Kensington Olympia. So the main line that this is on is District. Based on me, the best way to get there by the District line, if you can get to Earl's Court, there is a train that literally just goes to Kensington Olympia. It's one stop on the train, but you need to go to Earl's Court first. That for me is the way I go, because I can easily get there that way with 2 trains. Obviously I don't know where everyone is coming from, so my best bet for you is to just use TfL's website. They have a journey planner, they've got the maps, and just work out what the best route is for you, and it will give you the best route. You can select least number of changes and things like that. So honestly, the TfL website is your friend. I'm gonna put the link below. I'm gonna include all the links. I'm gonna do as much as I can to help you make this the smoothest weekend of your life. Based on the entrance, there are 2 entrances. Well, 2 main entrances. So there is the YALC entrance and the LFCC entrance. So last time I went to YALC, it was literally, you come out of the station and the building's there and you just walk around the main road. If you see Tesco Express on the other side of the road, right opposite Tesco Express is the YALC entrance. If you carry on walking past the YALC entrance and follow the road round, there is the LFCC entrance. That is the best way I can describe it, but the Showmaster's website will have the map and directions on how to get there. So again, I'm going to leave that section of the website linked down below so that you can check that out and figure out what entrance you're going to need. Another person asked me, what time do you recommend turning up? Now, you can turn up anytime. It opens in the morning. However, if you don't want to turn up until 1 o'clock, you can. But if there's actually things you specifically want to do, my recommendation is to turn up as early as you can. I'm very much someone who gets there as early as possible because I want to make sure I can do everything I want to do on that day. Again, this is where planning comes in, because if you plan, you are good to go. But obviously everyone's going to be different. It depends on if you want to get there early, if you're not too fussed if you miss out. So it is literally a case of just based on what you want to do. But my recommendation, if you want to do a lot, or if you're set on the things you want to do, get there as early as possible to queue up. I tend to try and get there at least an hour before it opens to get in the queue, but that is entirely up to you based on your plan for the day. And then the final question I got was one of my favorites, actually, because it is Any tips not breaking your back lugging everything around? Now, books are heavy, we know this. And 2019, I made the best decision of my life. I took a suitcase. Yes, a suitcase. So basically, this is what I do, because I always have a lot of books to get signed, and I also buy a lot of books there because I have no control. As if we didn't know that already. So what I do, I just take a small suitcase. You do not want to be bringing a massive suitcase. Take a small suitcase, the sort of small suitcase that would fit on the overhead on a plane or something. You only need a little suitcase. You don't want to be lugging around a massive suitcase. Plus, they won't let you in with a massive suitcase, but they do let you in with a small suitcase. So it is literally, I take a small suitcase with my books in and maybe some snacks, and then I just take a little backpack or a tote bag with my basics in. So like my purse, a bottle of water, and maybe some snacks. And that's it. That is all I do, because you do not want a lot on your back. Trust me on this, you really don't. So obviously things can change. However, according to the FAQ on the Showmaster's website, it literally, all it says about security is, as with all large events, we have security on site. You may be asked to go through a bag check upon entry. I've had no issues with a suitcase. I know people that have taken small suitcases every year they've been there, which is where I got the idea from. So there shouldn't be any issue taking a small suitcase with books. There is also a cloakroom. You do have to pay for the cloakroom, obviously, but there is a cloakroom. I believe the cloakroom is in the LFCC section, however, so you would have to go through that. But again, not certain on particulars of a cloakroom because I've never used it personally. So that was all the questions I got. That is everything I noted down. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you have a question that I haven't answered in this video, please feel free to check out the comments. And if no one has already asked your question, then I will be happy to try and answer it if I can. I can't guarantee I'll be able to answer your question, but I will answer it to the best of my ability if I can. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope if you are going to YALC this year, you have the absolute best time. It is one of my favorite times of the year and I'm so excited. It is happening. I have had my tickets since January 2020 because they were supposed to be for the July 2020 event. Then it got pushed back to 2021 and then it got pushed back to 2022. So I'm very excited that it's finally happening this year because I have missed it so much. It is one of my happy places and I'm just so excited to get back into it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.